Hi, I am Dr. Audrey Baca Lopez, and I will be presenting a doctoral program journey, increasing EDD program engagement among students, faculty, and community. Presented by myself in collaboration with doctoral program team and community for the ACLE project. And with that, I'm going to set a foundation using some resources that I did pick up from the ACLE assessment presentation in June 2021. Assessment is the process of defining and measuring the desired effect of your program or department on your constituents for the purpose of continuous improvement. With that being said, I'd also like to start with creating a shared meaning of language for assessment. And some of the terms I'll be using are inputs, which are the resources for our program, outputs, the direct products of our activities, and then outcomes, which is the desired effect we want our work to have on people and processes. The activities that we will be creating, those are what we do with our resources, and measures are how we understand if we are meeting our outcomes. So our doctoral program, CSU's doctoral program, has a foundational mission in which the educational leadership program is designed to develop scholar practitioner leaders who respond to 21st century challenges by promoting practices, policies, and programs committed to equity, social justice, and transformation. With that in mind, we have equity, social justice, and transformation ideally running throughout the scope of our program and with every decision that we make, knowing that assessment in particular is also meant to include, but at the same time can exclude. So being very mindful of some of the decisions that we've made together is embedded in our project. The EDD program characteristics in particular, it is a self-sustained program, meaning that all of our doctoral students are the ones who fund us. And we currently serve 73 active doctoral scholar practitioners, who is an increasingly diverse student population, being first generation students of color. We're having higher levels than ever before of applicants that are from diverse backgrounds, and we're trying to do our best to serve them. We have over 120 doctoral alumni, and we are in our 15th year, now recruiting for cohort 16. With that in mind, we'll be laying the foundation for our project. And the goal of this project was to increase the EDD program engagement among students, faculty, and community. And so you can understand where the background comes into play is that we've had a little bit of turnover within our departments and some of our faculty, and our program has been completely redesigned with the quarter to semester conversion. So we want to make sure that we don't lose students. So part of the goal has been a result of numerous conversations that have been heard and results of the pandemic. Let's not forget that a number of factors that have come into play to determine why we need to keep our students being engaged in our program, our faculty engaged in our program for student success, as well as engaging our doctoral community, which is the alumni, as well as other stakeholders from local community colleges and K-12 school districts and in our community. So with that in mind, our inputs, again, our inputs are the resources that we have. We have a self-sustained operating budget. We do have two directors, one or both of them are part-time. We have a full-time administrative coordinator who keeps us running, and she has our historical knowledge and has been with our program for 15 years. So she's very valuable in that sense. We have a full-time program specialist, which is myself. And we have a number of EDD faculty that support, including one dedicated full-time faculty member to the doctoral program. And we have our EDD community, which is made up of, again, as I mentioned, our stakeholders, alumni group, family, and we have our EDD faculty committees, which can include, in particular, which will come up, is the Community Advisory Board, as well as the CPED committee, which are two of we have also a program and assessment and a policies committee. We have a number of committees. So all of those inputs included we hope to level and have leverage through this past semester. We have technology available, including marketing and the website design, social media as well. We have our facilities, which include access to the conference room and number of spaces on campus that we are able to use. So just to elaborate, it's just an example of a few activities that we've done. Was an initial student needs survey for cohort, actually it went out to all the students, cohorts 15, 14, 13, 12, I believe. And that went out at the beginning of the semester. There should be another one coming follow up to get additional feedback and to create more supports as a result of the findings. We do have weekly doctoral program team meetings, which include the directors, the administrative coordinator, and myself. And we're trying to include the full-time faculty member and occasionally any faculty or students that have concerns or questions that are included in those meetings. We do have regular EDD faculty department meetings and committee meetings, which are enabling us to have a better understanding of what's going on in our doctoral program and with students, and awareness of how we can keep everyone engaged in our program. Some of our outputs that we've been successful in implementing this past year, and I count this past year since I started this project in April and was hired in April. So I came into a number of amazing things that were already happening and was able to help facilitate some more. So we did implement a full day student orientation, which is new this year. Previously, we'd only done half day last year, and then before it was just about 2 hours with the dinner. We also have implemented full day faculty retreat, homecoming, doctoral homecoming, which was a successful event that included over 70 participants, which included over 25 of our alumni and their family and friends, which is our doctoral community. We did implement office hours, which is weekly office hours, which is 2 hours per week dedicated to answering student questions or responding to faculty concerns. We have weekly writing and professional development sessions. We instituted a home scholar program, which supports students who identify as racially and ethnically diverse in supporting them with mentoring and professional development opportunities. And we selected 2 scholars, which is again new for this year. And we also instituted worked very closely with marketing and increased our communication from our doctoral program this year. We also are focusing on the CPED program alignment, which prioritizes, CPED is the Carnegie Project on the Educational Doctorate, which outlines a foundation of social justice and equity in creating problems of practice for doctoral students. So that's something that, while we've been a part of, has not been very closely examined to look at and try to say, how are we meeting the needs of our students with an equity framework? So with those outputs, we have achieved a good amount of outcomes, and we have 5 that we're focusing on, in which students will feel that the ED program meets their needs, and students will be able to navigate the program and campus resources and information. And that's part of that is for them to be successful in completing our program and graduating. And students will have additional experiences to engage with faculty, alumni, and mentors. And part of that is being successful in developing the dissertation committees and developing mentors amongst, and just relationships, and as well as peer mentors. So we really were looking to establish a foundation for that, because it's been missing, and particularly this past 2 years where we've had to go remote. Another outcome was that faculty will participate in the EDD committees and events, because faculty engagement allow for our students to also engage with them. So we're building that. And these are all in progress. We'll leave that as in progress, since this is assessment cycle is constantly occurring and reoccurring. But we also have another outcome, which is the doctoral community will have regular and sustained opportunities to connect with others throughout the year. Again, bringing in the hope that our long-term outcomes will develop a very solid and sustainable mentoring network for our graduates, because that's based on student feedback. We've heard that. We'd like to also increase completion rates of our doctoral scholars. So again, those are some short and long-term outcomes, with a short discussion on the measures of how we are informing our outcomes. So for outcome number 1, I had mentioned the needs survey before. We did a pre-semester. I still need to administer the post-semester to see how students have been feeling about if our program is meeting their needs for engagement, technology, financial services, all those pieces. We do have formative assessment at the beginning of the semester. We did a cohort check-in for all of our cohorts, including students who have been outside of the classroom. So cohorts 12 or 13, yes, 12 and previous. So right now we have cohorts 13, 14, and 15 that are currently taking classes. And those are the ones that are still engaged more closely with their program, but the ones once they finish the coursework, we want to make sure that they stay engaged. We did have a town hall and feedback session in April. So there was an analysis of that. That's helped inform some of our decision-making throughout this past semester. And for outcome 2, students will be able to navigate program campus resources and information. So they have available office hours. We're tracking attendance on the office hours, as well as resources are also shared during the writing and professional development sessions. So there's tracking of that and who comes and who's in attendance. We have available website tracking that we would like to institute to see who is accessing what resources that that's in progress right now, but we're capable of doing that. We have also formative assessments such as cohort check-ins that can be done to confirm that students have the resources available. Another piece is also the seminar sessions where students are able to ask their questions about the dissertation process and any other concerns that they have over the doctoral program. For outcome 3, we have students have additional experiences to engage with faculty, alumni, mentors, and that's where we're tracking participation per event. And we have a master calendar for, again, tracking the event count throughout the year so that there's many opportunities for our students, alumni, and faculty to engage and building from our master calendar, making sure that those events do occur. We are also planning on surveying students periodically throughout or after the events to see if they appreciated the event, the opportunity. Right now, it's been very informal. We've had a lot of changes. So it's mostly just feedback and one-to-one conversations, but we'd like to formalize that process. And for the 4th outcome, faculty to participate in ED committees and events, we look at participation per event count, master calendar tracking with the event count, particularly related to faculty members' engagement. And then we can also review meeting minutes of our committee meetings, as well as the doctoral the doctoral program meeting that happens monthly. For outcome number 5, doctoral community having regular and sustained opportunities to connect. That again is also can be measured through the event tracking of the master calendar, tracking regular events attendance, and as well as formative feedback. So part of that has been happening in our community advisory board committee meeting, which is apparently occurring semesterly or twice per year. And that's something that we can gather more feedback on, more formative feedback, as well as a focus group. Again, our long-term outcomes, mentoring network, and increasing completion rates will be addressed and need to be further discussed on how we were going to measure that. Those are still to be enacted. So in thinking about continuous improvement, again, our goal is to increase EDD program engagement among students, faculty, and community, keeping in mind our program mission. Our objective moving forward is to take the work we've done this past year and refine it to very much hone it. We have a lot of future work to be doing, which includes us defining what we want to see as a success as an EDD team and doctoral community. So being inclusive of our students and our alumni in that process, particularly working closely with the CAB, Community Advisory Board, as we discussed as a team. We want to introduce community, not just faculty, to the shared language of assessment with examples from this project. So we'll be using this video recording as well as other resources that have been come to fruition from this project. So in having that opportunity to present the project and evaluate the effectiveness and appropriateness of the evidence, the outcomes, and the measures. For future work, we need to review additional data, analyze, and reflect as an EDD team and community. We need to create also an action plan in collaboration with our EDD community during the CAB meeting, as well as regular faculty department meetings and within the cohort check-ins is an opportunity. So in closing, we ensure opportunities for the doctoral community to engage in processes, particularly around the community advisory board. So we have them as well, which will expand our opportunities for student networking in the local communities, because we have a number of alumni that are supportive at the superintendent level, at dean level, at president level of the local community colleges and institutions of higher ed, as well as the K-12 school districts. So always moving forward with the foundation of equity, social justice, and transformation throughout our work. In closing, best quote from this project was, "Be kind to yourself." And I do have to thank you all for this opportunity and look forward to giving you an update on our projects in the future. Thank you.